Good afternoon, everyone. Kashish, Sambar, Thira, Farnaz, Nitin, Jagdev, Shubham. I'm fine, Shubham. I hope you're also good. So let's start. I hope it's visible to everyone. जब जरा wait करते हैं, wait. Let us wait 1 or 2 minutes more. Other students are still joining. So with that note, let us start the class. So today we are going to discuss. We are going to start with People to eight. First, corporate social responsibility in NGO. It is important for your ethics paper and governance. In your ethics paper and governance, both covers your ethics paper and governance, both cover your corporate social responsibility. Now, first we need to understand the ideological foundation. And for that, I hope everyone remembers that we have a liberal system. We had understood liberalism or capitalism. Anyone who does not know these terms, liberalism or capitalism, it is a system that gives anyone. What are the two classes in capitalism? Haves and have-nots, and which can be divided as capitalist and the working class. Yes, I think working in the capitalist class. Good afternoon, Afifa. We have just started. Basically, what happened in liberalism and capitalism, we had two classes. One is capitalist or the working class. Something the capitalists are known as haves, means who have everything, and the other is have-nots, who have nothing. This distinction of haves and have-nots was created by Karl Marx, basically. So, what happened? A challenge to this capitalism was in form of socialism. Socialism, there are numerous varieties of socialism. Unlimited variety, I must say, country specific, person specific, scholar specific. So out of that, there is one variety. One is known as old socialist, or socialist before Marx. Old socialist, also known as socialist before Marx, and one is Marx. And then socialist after Marx. This is how we also divide socialism into. For the people who have no idea what these terms mean, joining for the first time, liberalism or capitalism is a system that gives preference to individual initiatives, that give preference to basically private sector. That is liberalism or capitalism. Okay, liberalism is a political part of capitalism. Capitalism is the economic dimension of liberalism. Okay? One is economic, one is political, where both are more or less, you can say, brother and sisters. They have differences in them, but they are one blood basically. So in that we divide there are two classes: capitalism and the working class. Capitalism has, working class have nots. Anyone who is not an owner is basically a working class. So this capitalism was challenged by socialism. Socialism as an idea evolved. It has numerous variety. So there is no clear distinction or clear crystallization of socialism. But one thing you can say for sure is socialist believes in socio-economic rights. The liberals and capitalists, they give preference to political rights. That is the rights that we have under fundamental right chapter in the constitution. Now, in that you have fundamental rights, they are political rights, civic political rights. Socialists talk about socio-economic rights, means the right to food, take a right to food, right to work, these kind of rights. In this socialism, you have old socialists who came before Marx, socialists after Marx. These socialists before Marx basically were you can call us utopian. Utopia means, utopia is a place of eternal happiness, a place where everything is good. You can say, call it Satyuga. As in Hinduism, we have a concept of Satyuga, you can call it that. So what happened, Marx when came, he analyzed the policy of these people and called them as utopian. Why he said so? Because socialists before Marx, they were talking about something called as appealing the conscience. Appealing the conscience means antaratma ki awaaz. So basically the socialists were appealing the capitalist class, sir. If you do not give sufficient money to the people or livelihood to the people, then they will revolt one day. So basically they were appealing the capitalist class, please change your exploitative methods. Marx came and he simply said, aisa kabhi nahi hoga. Basically emphasized that the people who are getting benefited out of a system will never like to change it. Common sense. For example, there are certain people who may discuss and debate, for example, about reservation. They may have grievances about reservation, but if the same people get the reservation, they will happily take it. I'm not saying everyone, but I'm saying majority. So Marx, basically what happened is, to those people who are getting benefit out of something, it is very less likely they would like to give up. So Karl Marx said that these old socialists or socialists before Marx, they are utopian. Why? Because they are appealing the conscience of capitalists, which he believes will never bring any change for the working class. So far clear? Any question? Any doubt? The people who have doubt, please ask. If we have to do one concept multiple times, we will do it as many times required. So this is the distinction. Marx came and he said that the working class has only one option to bring a change, that is violent revolution. Go for a violent revolution, pick up the arm. Basically the cry of worker of the world unite. The workers of the world unite and go against capitalism. This was one thing. Counter to this, Gandhi came. That is what we want to discuss here. Gandhi. This all was the foundation. This is related to this news. Gandhi came with the idea of trusteeship theory. Gandhi analyzed Marx's ideas, and Gandhi said Marx is wrong because Gandhi did not believe in violent revolution. Gandhi was always for a non-violent revolution. So Gandhi gave an idea of trusteeship theory. He said that all the capitalists are basically not the owner; they are just a manager. Under trusteeship theory, Gandhi said that the capitalist class is not the owner of the capital, like land, machines and all. They are not the owner; they are just a manager. Basically, emphasize that the owner is the society itself. The entire society is the owner, and the capitalists are just like manager of that assets. So this is use those assets for the welfare of everyone, not only themselves. यहाँ तक everyone clear? Any issue? I'm going slow. Any confusion? नहीं किसी को? Okay. From that comes the idea of corporate social responsibility. Now, what is corporate social responsibility? Basically, there is a corporation, and I have told you multiple times, the only profit the corporation runs with is profit. Very simple logic. If I am unable to generate profit, अगर मुझे पैसा नहीं मिल रहा है, if I am unable to generate profit, so it does not matter how much money I have, I will never invest. I hope you people remember the 2020 budget we discussed in earlier current events. Do you? 2020 budget, reduction of corporate tax. People, do you remember? कोई है जिसे याद नहीं आ रहा? Yes, revenue for gone. Basically, in 2020 budget, corporate tax was reduced. The logic was corporate will invest in the market, but corporate did not. Why? Because they knew there is no demand. If somebody is not wanting this pen, I manufacture this pen. Nobody wants this pen. Then why will I manufacture this? So corporate does not profit. Profit comes when people demand a product. So trusteeship theory, where basically he said the capitalists are the managers and they should use the entire capital, the land, labor, everything for the welfare of the entire society. But in real life, capitalists runs corporation. They are profit seeker people. They are not society saver. They are not social welfare seeker. They are profit seekers. So to keep that in check, we brought corporate social responsibility. Means corporate means companies. There is an obligation on the companies to do social activities as well. Is it clear, sabko, what is corporate social responsibility and where it has originated from? Any doubt? Okay, the corporate social responsibility has originated from the idea of Gandhian trusteeship theory. Now let us look क्या है इसमें. Corporate social responsibility में basically first we look at the what is corporate social responsibility. CSR basically it aims to achieve sustainability by minimizing the negative environmental impact of organization, this and that, increasing social exploitation. But is the problem they are difficult to quantify. Of course, they are not like financial measures. It applies to all companies. Please, everyone remember, CSR applies to all companies, listed, unlisted, public, private, 1%. Certain limitations. You have to remember these limitations. That net worth shall be 500 crores or more, turnover shall be 1,000 crore or more, or profit shall be 5 crores or more. This is the conditionality. If you satisfy this conditionality, you have to do CSR. Now, what are the issues? The issue that we are discussing here, the news was on that. Any social activity often receive big donation, especially from corporate social responsibility program in India. Basically, what happens? Like you are a corporate, you are supposed to do CSR. You are a corporate manufacturing guns. Guns kill people. So in that you can say, yeah, why will I waste my time in CSR? Rather, what you do is you sign a check. You sign a check to NGO, which work for the people. So in this way, you can show that I have given money to an NGO working for the people. My corporate social responsibility is done. Now it is the role of NGO to do the work. Most of the time, this is used basically for money laundering. Most of the time, this mechanism is used for money laundering. How? Okay, I know that a part of my profit, say for example, 10%. Say for example, if 10% of my profit I have to put for corporate social responsibility, I don't want to do that. I don't want to give my profit to people. What I will do is I will create bogus NGOs. The NGO which exists on paper only. They will do this and halka pulka work. There will be photos and all. And once upon a time or once in a year, I will do one, say for example, food distribution or clothes distribution, whatever may be the case. I will click photos and create a profile. So what they do is bogus NGO. They give money in the name of corporate social responsibility to these NGO. These are bogus NGO. Then these very NGOs buy product from this corporate sector. मैकेनिज्म सबको क्लियर हो रहा है कैसे मनी को राउंड टिप किया जाता है? एनीवन जैसे समझ नहीं आया? लास्ट पॉइंट रिपीट, ठीक है? ओके, देखिए, वी हैव अ कॉर्पोरेट. I told you first of all, foundation of CSR is Gandhian trusteeship. Now come to the corporate. Corporate basically have to part a percentage of their work, revenue and profit to social works. Say for example, I have to give 10% of my profits. I don't want to do that. So what I will do is I will give this 10% to an NGO. This NGO exists only on paper and nothing. Only on paper and nothing. What this NGO will do is this NGO will then buy product from my company itself. मान लेते हैं I produce, say for example, I produce washing machines. Say for example, I produce washing machines. I produce washing machine. A part of my activity must go to CSR. I will give this money to NGO. This money will buy my washing machine from my same money. So by this, I have round tipped the money. ना मैं washing machine बेचूंगा, my washing machine will never go out of my store. On paper they will be sold, and this NGO already exists on paper. So by this I have saved 10% of the rupee, and I have fulfilled government requirement of CSR of 10%. Now is it clear to everyone how this money laundering kind of thing work? ठीक है, एक तो ये problem आती है. The second problem that the news is on, the other problem is that this NGOs, a lot of time there is no clarity how they are spending money, how much is they are spending here and there. This issue. So first issue is with respect to money laundering. Second issue is with respect to no clarity or guidelines for NGO. The fund. Okay, currently we have guidelines for corporate sector, CSR guidelines for corporate sector, Ministry of Corporation Scheme, Ministry of Cooperative Scheme, sorry, corporations. We have guidelines for corporate sector, not for NGOs. So most of the NGO कैसे वो CSR fund का इस्तेमाल करती है is not very clear. Two issues are clear. First is money laundering, and second, usage of fund. Please guys tell me any question, any doubt. Okay, so let me summarize. Then I will move to third issue. Okay, what are the issues? So what is summary? First, CSR. CSR is based on Gandhian idea of trusteeship, which was a counter to Marx's idea of voluntary revolution. Gandhian idea of trusteeship, which was a counter to Marx's idea of voluntary revolution. Trusteeship, we have two parts: capitalist and the working class. The capitalist class is the manager. The working class is basically, society is basically the welfare receiver. Having done that, we launched CSR. CSR में all companies listed, unlisted मतलब ये share market की बात हो रही है. The companies who are on share market, listed companies are those who are available on share market, unlisted who are not. Public, private, I believe everyone understand, 1% companies. So every company has to contribute a part of its revenue and profit to basically CSR, corporate social responsibility, that is corporate social works. For that, there are two things issues. First, money laundering. Second, no guidelines in case of NGOs. Third issue is surrogate advertising. Surrogate ads. What is a surrogate ad? I hope everyone has seen that ad. The soda, backpiper soda. Basically, they are promoting alcohol, but in the name of soda. वही थी, इन्हें बोलते हैं surrogate advertisement. नंबर नहीं आ रही. McDonald's सोडा और वो जो भी आते हैं, ब्लू सीडी जो भी है. So basically, what is the thing is, they are promoting their brand, but by a surrogate advertisement because they cannot put an ad for their alcohol and all. So similarly, what happens is this company like BAT, British American Tobacco, petroleum giant BP. Vimal Pan Masala. Everyone knows what you're promoting. Okay, these companies, basically British American Tobacco or the petroleum giant like BPs, they have their operation which is environmentally damaging. Of course, tobacco damages people and a loss of money to exchequer. BP, petroleum production, damage environment. So what they do is they use the CSR money to do welfare activities so that the people will associate their name with good things. And that's why they give heavy checks to whom? These stars. Here, or this Vimal guy, क्या नाम है इसका? I'm forgetting his name. जो भी है वो विमल जुबा केसरी वाला व्यक्ति. Ajay Devgan, yes. Ajay Devgan kind of people. These stars, because these stars are fan following. People will look at them, and if they do something, people tends to follow. So that's why these companies who have bad products, which are damaging to the society, environment, whatnot, they, in the name of CSR, they give money to certain bodies which use these stars to carry out their propaganda, so that people may forget कि BP, BP Petroleum, Bharat Petroleum kind of companies, they are producing what? ये British Petroleum ऐसे, they are producing environmentally damaging product. सबको clear है? Surrogate advertisement and use of CSR for that. false information बहुत करती है, propaganda documentary and all, वो तो चलो चलता रहता है. That's a part of the business. Everyone is clear? So we have seen CSR, reason for CSR, availability of CSR, and ultimately the issues with CSR. देखिए लिंक मैंने यहाँ पे रखा है, न्यूलिबरलिज्म वर्सेस CSR. देखिए ये लिंक तो क्लियर होगा सबको, गांधी कार्ल मार्क्स का. This link, न्यूलिबरलिज्म वर्सेस CSR. Everyone remember what is neoliberalism as an economic agenda? सबको याद है? I have told it multiple times. Anyone जिसे नहीं पता है टर्म के बारे में? बोलिए guys, is there anyone? सबको क्लियर है? चलो फिर ठीक है. तो न्यूलिबरलिज्म में what is happening? देखिए भूल गया सर. अच्छा चलो थोड़ा सा देख लेते हैं. A quick review. I've always said you are always welcome to ask anything. चाहे मैं पहले 10 बार पढ़ाऊं फिर पूछो, नहीं याद आ रहा, doesn't matter. ठीक है. सोशलिज्म देखिए, on the one hand we have socialism. I told you socialism basically advocate of social grouping or socio-economic rights, the right to food, the right to work. So socialist model. India before 1991 had a socialist model. Nehru Mahali Nobus. You will read that in economics. In that model, basically government was controlling everything. Government was at the driving seat of the car. If the Indian economy is a car, the government was at the driving seat. Neoliberalism, where private sector does everything. Neoliberalism is a philosophy of market fundamentalism, meaning everything will be done by the private sector. Everything. Market fundamentalism. Government is nowhere. Now is it clear? In this context, CSR become even more important. Because today we are living, Priyanshi has risen ahead. Yes, Priyanshi, any question? That was accidental, I believe. Okay. So private CSR. So CSR become even more important because there used to be a time when there were certain services provided by the government. The same services are provided by the private sector. And private sector, I told you, run on profit. So in era of neoliberalism, where everything is going private, the government of India is privatizing everything, banks, PSUs, everything is government of India is privatizing. So based on that, CSR becomes even a more important component. Is it clear, everyone? Clear सबको? Okay. So this was the news with regard to CSR. The issue recent report was published. CSR में there are various disputes. We have discussed all. Next, trading routine. Now this is important in context of basically IR, but you can also understand economy here. There are two news which combines in trading routine. देखिए basically how trade works today, how trade mechanism works among the countries, how trade works. Suppose there is an Indian merchant. This Indian merchant want to export something. So what he will do? He will first export करने के लिए first he will go to RBI. From RBI he will take dollars and give rupees to RBI. ठीक है, dollar for rupees. He will take dollar and he will give what? Rupees. Dollar लेगा. अब now he will take this dollar. Sorry, import है इसमें होगा. It is an import if the person wants to import. There is an Indian merchant who wants to import some product from somebody. For that, that person will go to RBI, exchange his rupees for dollars. Then there will be a person, say for example, merchant in USA. This person will basically export that item to India, and this merchant will be paid in dollar. यहाँ तक everyone clear कि how this international trade work? बोलिए guys, clear है नहीं है? So in this entire process, what is the linked currency? Which is the linked currency? Dollar. So dollar is the linked currency around the world, and that is how it has been. Okay, this is the first thing you need to remember. Second thing. In second thing, another thing used to happen before 1970s. You will study something called as Nixon shock. The Richard Nixon was the president of USA, and his name, in his honor, it is called Nixon shock. What is this? Before 1970, the currency used to be like, for example, rupee will be pegged. Rupee, the price of rupee will be based on the price of dollar. The price of dollar will be based on the gold. This is how it used to work. The world's currencies were used to base themselves on dollar, and then dollar used to base itself in gold. In 1970s, Nixon abolished this. Now every country is free to fix itself. Rupee vis-a-vis dollar is freely determined by market. Rupee vis-a-vis dollar. सबको clear है this Nixon shock? पहले rupee was fixed on dollar, dollar was fixed on gold. This system is gone. Now rupee and dollar will depend upon demand and supply. Their prices will be depending upon demand and supply. This is the second thing. In these two things, किसी को कोई doubt है, please ask. Okay, repeat. Dollar वाला thing I believe. Second thing, second point. Kiran? Let me repeat. दोबारा से करता हूँ. ठीक है, first point is simple, import export वाला. Second point. The second point, how it works. Previously, before 1970s, what used to happen? Any national currency like rupee, I am taking example. They used to be based on dollar. मान लेते हैं, we will fix that 10 rupees is equals to $1. It is fixed. ठीक है, fixed by the central bank. And then dollar was based on gold prices. For example, gold $1 is equals to $1 is equals to 20 grams of gold. Say for example. So can I say 10 rupees is equals to 20 grams of gold? Kiran and Nathan, can I say that? Sorry, 20. This is how the system used to work. National currency around the world were tagged on dollar. This is called pegging. Pegging means when you are based on something else. So in rupees were based on dollar and dollar were based on gold. So any movement in gold reflected in dollar and any movement in dollar reflected in national currency. That is how it used to work. Now what happened in 1970s, the US abolished this standard. Because of this linkage was destroyed, ultimately all currency became free. How they became free, let's understand that also. Now the prices of dollar versus rupee will depend on demand and supply. If demand of dollar will increase, then value of dollar will increase. मतलब in this case consider dollar like a commodity, a pen. The pen है, इस pen को अगर if one person is demanding this pen, it may be 10 rupees. If 20 people start demanding this pen, मतलब demand for this pen increase, basically this pen's price will increase. भाव बढ़ जाएगा, it will become 20 rupees, say for example, or 200 rupees. Same if you consider dollar as a commodity, if people will demand dollar more, the dollar prices will increase. Meaning, initially, say for example, for 60 rupees you get $1. Now you will spend 120 rupees to get $1. Now, this much is clear, Kiran and Nitin. This is what I was writing the second system. After Nixon saw, the dollar rupee prices will be determined by market. These two things everyone has to keep in mind. यहाँ तक clear सबको? Any confusion? नहीं है, चलो ठीक है. अब let's come to third point. उसके बाद we will come directly to the news. Okay, third point is something called as Vostro account. Vostro and Nostro. Basically, Vostro means yours and Nostro means ours. Vostro means yours or Nostro means ours. How it works? Say for example, there is Bank of India. Bank of India. If Bank of India opens, मान लेते हैं $20 account. If Bank of India deposit $20 in, say for example, Bank of America. Bank in America, Bank of America. Bank of India deposit $20 in Bank of America in an account. So Bank of America will call such account as Vostro, means your money. Bank of India will call that account as Nostro. बताइए, clear everyone this third point? कोई भी confusion हो तो you can always ask again and again. ठीक है. Now we have to combine all three. So could be a bit difficult, but try to understand. We have to combine all three concepts together. How it works? देखते हैं. अब this is in context of Ukraine war. देखिए Ukraine war में क्या हुआ? What happens in Ukraine war? We understood one thing, that dollar is the link currency of, I would say, most of the trade, almost 100% कह लीजिए. All of the trade is linked to dollar, linked by dollar between two currencies. अब because of Ukraine war, USA has pushed sanctions, basically on whom? Russia. So Russia is out of dollar system. Russia cannot make use of its dollar as a linked currency because the stick that is US dollar basically. यहाँ तक सबको clear है ना? The linked currency is gone. Linked currency is gone. Now what will happen is we will use Nostro and Vostro. The sanctions means restriction. US has imposed restriction on Russia with respect to US companies. US company cannot do trade with Russia. US bank cannot do business with Russia. This is called sanctions. Your Russian citizen cannot travel outside Russia, in US basically. Okay. So now what has happened is, because this link currency is gone, India is purchasing oil from Russia. I'm going slow. Please, any confusion, ask again. India is purchasing oil from Russia. Initially, we purchase oil from Russia. Say, for example, we purchase 2 barrels. For 2 barrels, we'll give dollar to Russia. This is how it was doing. But now dollar as a link currency is not available. And rupee as a currency for Russia is based. What Russia will do with rupee? There is no use. Rupee is not usable around the world. It is only usable in India. So to bypass this mechanism, we are implementing the Vostro account mechanism. How it works, let's understand. What is happening is, say for example, there is a Bank of Russia. Bank of Russia will open a rupee account. Bank of Russia will open a rupee account in, say for example, Bank of India. So what will happen? Let's assume there is a trader. There is a trader in Russia. This trader, and there is a trader in India. This Indian trader will, say for example, supply something to this person. That is a case of export. Now this trader has to pay, Russian trader has to pay Indian trader, but he cannot pay in ruble, the currency of Russia. He has to pay in dollar, but he cannot use dollar. So what he will do is he will pay ruble to this bank. Ruble, the currency of Russia. He will pay ruble to this bank. This bank will sanction similar amount. Say for example 2 ruble example. So 2 ruble equivalent of rupees. This bank will sanction to this bank, and this bank will give this bank 2 ruble equivalent rupees. Clear हो गया how this trade will work using Vostro account? Any confusion in anyone's mind? Please ask. किसी को कुछ भी समझना है पूछ लीजिए. Repeat करना है अभय के लिए. Okay, again let me repeat once more. देखिए what is happening because of Ukraine war, Russia and the Western allies they have put sanction. US and Western allies they have put sanction on Russia, meaning Russia is out of banking system now, US banking system, and dollar is used as a link currency. Because of which they cannot use any US bank as a mediator to facilitate dollar transaction. Now what will happen is we have to bypass this. For that we will use this Vestro Nostro wala concept. What is going to happen is there will be a trader in Russia. There will be a trader in India. At the same time there is Bank of Russia and there is Bank of India. Now what happened? Bank of Russia will open a rupee account. Rupee account means it will deposit rupee, literal rupee in Bank of India. It will deposit literal rupee in Bank of India. Bank of India में हो गया. अब this trader when buy something, say for example I gave him मैंने से car बेची, say for example. This trader sell car to Russian trader. The Russian trader has to pay back. But Russian trader does not have dollars. So the Russian trader will go to his bank, his country's bank, and ask his bank that I am giving you this much of rupees. This is the cost of car, 2 rubles. You sanction this rupees, this ruble in rupees to this trader. Up clear, the trader will go to their bank, ask him, I am giving you ruble. You ask your counterpart in India to give rupee to my partner, the seller. Now is it clear up है? अब मेन क्वेश्चन आता है रुपी कहां से आएगा? That's why we understood this exchange rate system. Exchange rate we understood ना? Free exchange. पता नहीं, I think it is 1.1 something है, जहाँ तक मुझे आता है 1.1 something. It is declining or something. Exchange rate is not very important. Bank to bank transaction, this part. Shakshi, this part, Bank of Russia to Bank of India. This is the bank to bank transaction, and this is the physical export from trader in India to trader in Russia. BOR to BOI, yes, that is bank to bank transaction. Okay, अब rupee कहाँ से आया? देखिए rupee basically what happens. So for example, there is exchange rate. Example मान लेते हैं 1 rupee is equals to में 1.1 ruble. So in this, what will happen is this Bank of Russia will go to RBI first. In RBI, it will exchange some rubles for rupees, and then these rupees will be deposited in Bank of India as a rupee account. Is it clear, everyone? और अगर उसको कुछ डॉलर पड़े होंगे तो वो भी exchange करवा सकती है, अगर पड़े होंगे तो. सबको clear है how this system will work? Vestro Nostro system. Any confusion? Please ask. So this is the system that we are implementing. This is the system that we are combining 3 concepts together. That is what we are doing. Let me read the news quickly now. This is a system that is working in India because of this Ukraine war, and there is a division of the world, East versus West wala. So India is pushing for, the government is pushing for trade in rupee. And how this rupee trade will work? The Vostro Nostro concept. The Vostro Nostro account will be used for this rupee. And remember, this account can be specific for also. This special account can be opened for oil, for weapons, for XYZ thing. Especially every account can be specially dedicated to some purpose. But that is how Indian government is promoting trade in rupees so that our dependence on dollar come down. If dependence on dollars come down, then US control over India's foreign policy, US control over world's foreign policy will go down. So clear, any issues in this new trade in rupee? और इसमें आपको याद क्या क्या रखना है? इसमें all you have to remember is what is vostro and what is nostro. UPSC has a habit of asking concepts, so they can ask what is vostro account, what is nostro account. Remember that. Mechanism, I don't think they will literally ask how it works, but of course they can ask what is vostro, what is nostro. So remember the definition. Mechanism, if you remember, fine. If you don't, doesn't matter. But remember, it's important. Clear everyone? चलो अगली न्यूज़ पर move करते हैं. Okay. Section 66 of the Information Technology Act. Okay, Information Technology Act is very important for cybersecurity chapter in your internal legislation. Sorry, in internal security. In internal security, you will read that there is a chapter on cybersecurity in which Information Technology Act 2000 is very important. Please read this provision. Few provision you must know. If you do not know them, please read them. It's very important. जब भी आपका internal security होगा, it will be taught there. In this, there is a particular section, section 66A. Basically, it's a dispute between privacy versus security. Now, let me ask you this: which is more important? What do you think? Which is more important, privacy or violation of privacy for security? Within privacy, Shubham, case by case basis security. Okay. अब देखिए, you will understand the significance. First, you have to tell me what is rights. What do you understand by rights? हमने बहुत बार discuss किया इस बात को. We have discussed multiple times. Claim, your claim against the state. बिल्कुल सही. These are the claims. Your claims against the state. Why the Constitution has taken so much pain to give you fundamental rights? Why the freedom fighters went so ahead that they gave Supreme Court of India absolute power to do justice. I told you, Indian Supreme Court is the world's most powerful court. The power it possesses, no court in the world possesses. That why Indian Supreme Court is made so powerful? Because we know, on the one hand, you have a state. Because we had experienced British state. Our freedom fighters, they experienced the colonial rule. They experienced if the government is not accountable to the people, what happens? If a government is dictatorship, what it can do? They have faced the brutality of the state. Police state is a very lenient term, very lenient. Police state से aggravated state, authoritarian, totalitarian. Police state तो एक हद तक फिर भी tolerable, but totalitarian state is very aggravated. So we understood that. That's why Indian freedom fighter, our founding fathers and mothers, they took so much efforts to give you fundamental rights, to protect you against the state. The claim of right to privacy, right to movement, right to assemble, right to life. They are your rights against the state. Now, this is the debate in that context. What is this section 66A? Section 66A empowers the police to put you behind bars for 3 years jail and fine. Means they can make a case against you and you will be given imprisonment for 3 years or fine or both. Both may be the case. And what was the criteria? Grossly offensive messages and messages in menacing character. Beautiful word. Very beautiful word. Kaise beautiful? Sarcastically I am saying. Kaise beautiful? There was an incident. after which this section was annulled basically. देखिए Raj Thackeray, when he died, of course he was a statesman, no doubt over that. For Maharashtrian, there is a special love, especially in MNS and that Shivsena. So when he died, there was a Mumbai Bandh. Entire Mumbai was basically closed. So there were some girls who basically wrote on Facebook, I believe, that Mumbai Bandh nahi karna chahiye tha. They asked, I think, why Mumbai was Bala Sahib Thackeray. Raj Thackeray is alive. I'm sorry, Bala Sahib Thackeray. So basically what happened, this person, Bala Sahib Thackeray, when he died, so at that point Mumbai was closed. So those women basically wrote, arguing कि क्यों है मुंबई बंद. तो आपको लगता है कि it's a case of threat to security, national security का concern बनता है इससे. I'm asking you, does it make a threat to national security? And you know our over enthusiastic police. The problem with our police is riots can't solve like this. These are two women typing something on Facebook and something. Nobody, पता नहीं दो लोगों से ज़्यादा like भी नहीं किया होगा किसी ने. Anyway, a lot of people write a lot of things. The problem is, of course, दो तीन से ज़्यादा like के कहाँ मिले होंगे उन दोनों को. दोनों को हम ज़्यादा लोग जानते हैं. But what the issue happened is they were booked under Section 66A, the grossly offensive and menacing character. कौन सा grossly offensive था यहाँ पे? That was the problem. That there are a lot of people around the country who are rounded up by the police, over enthusiastic police. Why over enthusiastic? अगर आप इनके पास अपना मर्डर केस लेके भी जाओगे तो भी इतना enthusiasm नहीं दिखाते जितना अगर नेता कुछ बोल दे तो enthusiasm दिखाते. They will round up everyone if required if their political master says so. The issue is governance reform. Both हमने governance में you will study police reforms. Very much important. Because I have always said police is the most visible face of the state. You know the state by police. You know there is government of India or government of concerned state because you see a constable or somebody in a uniform standing on a red light. Issuing challan for violation of law of the land. That tells you that there is a government. Otherwise, most of the people do not interact with the government. We rarely interact with the government when we have to take admission, when we have to get certificates made, etc. etc. Clear सबको what is the issue here? बोले guys, clear? Okay. So in this scenario, what happens? Rights are claims. So Supreme Court in Shreya Singhal case, इसमें नीचे लिखा है मैंने. Supreme Court in Shreya Singhal case struck down Section 66. Why? Because they said it is vaguely. What is offensive is vague. लेकिन grossly offensive, menacing character क्या होता है? It's very vague. For example, for me, even two girls kissing on a street, two girls, lesbian, kissing on a street is not a big case for me. Why? Because I have a liberal orientation and I believe in rights of individuals. It's her right to choose her partner. But for our parents, अगर कोई सुट्टा भी मार ले तो बड़ी बात हो जाएगी. You've seen ना, even for them, even somebody does a smoking a small puff, that would be a big thing. So grossly offensive varies from person to person. That's personal preference. For a person who is highly liberal in orientation, individual rights का believer, उसके लिए even the biggest thing could not be a crime. But for people who are rooted in traditionalism, culture and all, for them that could be offensive. So that's what Supreme Court said, that this word grossly offensive and menacing character are highly vague. Virtually anything can be grossly offensive. सबको clear है why Supreme Court struck down this provision? Guys, is it clear? Okay, and why we are discussing this in news if it is struck down? Because हमारी पुलिस बड़ी कमाल की है. Our police is very good. They often update their current events daily. They attend our classes. That's why they know that this section has been repealed, but still they are booking people in Section 66. They're still booking people in Section 66 around the country when this section does not even exist. That's why we are studying this. That's why the Supreme Court has expressed its concern to the state. Please stop this FIR registration in Section 66A. It does not exist any longer. Is it clear why we are discussing this? कोई issue, कोई doubt in this news? ठीक है, तो ये हमारी न्यूज थी बेसिकली सेक्शन 66A में. This is something you have to keep in your article 19. Article 19 में स्पेशली आर्टिकल 19 1 clause A में please write this down there if you have not covered this, and if you have covered, fine. Next is internet shutdowns. Now what is the issue with internet shutdowns? For that we need to understand something. I've said you multiple times. Do you people remember the term we discussed earlier, techno nationalism? Anyone? याद है आपको प्रीवियस में? Shubham, it has been annulled. Supreme Court has declared outlawed, but still police around the country is booking people under this section. It's unconstitutional. कुछ नहीं होता होगा, बुक करते होंगे, फिर डांट खाते होंगे जिसके सामने, और क्या, must have reprimanded them or not. That's why I said always attend current classes. Update रहोगे. Techno-nationalism. Techno-nationalism, we all remember the word techno-nationalism. Basically, it's the use of technology to promote nationalist identity. Again, too much nationalism is dangerous. Hitler was aggressively nationalist. Extreme nationalism is Hitler. And extreme nationalism is always very dangerous. Because extreme nationalism means majoritarianism. Again, internet shutdown, the debate is same. Privacy versus privacy नहीं कहना चाहिए यहाँ पे. The argument, privacy can also be seen that the argument here is freedom of speech versus security of state. Freedom of speech versus security of state. Now, how it works? Basically, what happens, say for example, Modi government brought CAA, Citizenship Amendment Act. A lot of people come on the street to protest. A right that I believe everyone should exercise. Everyone. Okay, remember this, there is a very common phrase. A person who has not done protest once in his life has never been a democratic person. It's your right. Remember this, the price of liberty. There's a beautiful quote. The price of liberty is eternal vigilance. The price of liberty is eternal vigilance. अगर आप सावधान नहीं रहे, सरकार आपकी liberty लेके निकल जाएगी. It applies to all the government around the world. If you're not vigilant, then the government will take away your liberty. So what happened when CAA happened, the protest happened, the government imposed internet shutdown. Why? The government arguing to prevent spread of news and that. Basically, Indian government is currently blamed for using too much of internet shutdown. For example, according to the report of Software Freedom Law Center, in this, India is the top country where internet shutdown has happened. It's a bad thing. Why? For democracy. Imagine this, that China is below us. India is above China when it comes to violation of right to freedom of speech and expression. It's a thing to worry. सबको issue समझ में आ रहा है? The gravity of the situation, the gravity of the news, everyone is understanding that we are above China, a country that everyone aspires to be a democracy. सब समझ रहे हैं बात को? Anyway, okay. So what is the news? News is the center should be the governing authority in issuing internet shutdown orders. The state government should only issue such order based on the guideline laid out by DOT. This is the news recently. The central government has said if the state government wants to restrict internet, then they can do within the guidelines of DOT, Department of Telecommunication. And center is the main authority. Because internet shutdown powers are given from the Information Technology Act, that is a central government act. Under this, we have created, देखिए, internet shutdowns, sorry, Telegraph Act, sorry, Information Technology, Telegraph Act. It's a central government act. Internet shutdowns are governed in Telegraph Act, which is a central government act. Under this act, we have created temporary suspension of telecom services, public emergency or public safety rule 2017. These rules provide who can restrict your internet. Under this, the senior bureaucrat from the Home Ministry, कहने का मतलब है Home Secretary, often Home Secretary, or in his absence, Joint Secretary or Under Secretary, whatever may be the case, only they can issue an order to restrict internet in their area. First thing. Second, in state level, the state Home Secretary or the Joint Secretary and other, if the Home Secretary is not available, they can issue order. This is how the internet works. सबको ये बताइए, यहाँ तक सबको clear है? The issue we have at hand and the legal framework we have. कोई डाउट किसी तरह का कुछ भी पूछना है? नहीं पूछना है तो now there is an important thing. Please remember this. Remember this case. Anuradha Bhasin versus Union of India case. क्या केस है? In this, Supreme Court of India has said that internet is a major means of information and therefore is a part of Article 19(1)(a). Means अगर tomorrow in your locality if your internet has been prohibited, तो आप कहाँ जा सकते हैं सीधा? If internet is prohibited in your locality, where you can approach directly? Yes, Supreme Court. For violation of fundamental right. That's why Constitution gives so much emphasis on fundamental rights. For violation of any fundamental rights, you can directly go to Supreme Court. You do not have to go to High Court and lower courts. So Supreme Court has declared that internet is a part of Article 19(1)(a). So internet cannot be suspended indefinitely. That's obvious because Article 19 also has some limitations, restriction on free speech, वगैरह. Clear reason for such orders need to be forwarded. Means if you are restricting internet in an area, there should be clear written orders कि क्यों करा, and review meetings shall be held within next working day. Today the order will be passed, and next working day there will be a review meeting to see whether the internet suspension was just or unjust. Please remember this important judgment in case of internet, especially freedom of speech and expression. You can use this. Okay, clear everyone? The news is the addition to the current news is that center has extracted the powers. Now center is the complete authority over internet shutdowns. And again, it's a bad news for India. The status that India is above China comes to violating people's right to speech, freedom of speech and expression is a bad thing for a democracy. With that news, 5 minute break ले or shall we continue? पर 5 मिनट बोला तो 10 मिनट. ये देखो नितिन उससे भी आगे. चलो ठीक है, 10 मिनट्स का ब्रेक है फिर 3:40 विल मीट अगेन. कुछ न्यूज बची है. दिस वन इज इंपॉर्टेंट, प्लीज रिमेंबर, ये ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है. लैंड मोनेटाइजेशन, इट विल डील विद योर एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप, अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट एंड अदर इशूज दैट इकोनॉमिक फेस. उसमें काफी काम आएगा. And also we will discuss privatization here. Okay guys, 10 minutes break and then we'll meet again. Okay, then we are back to carry on our journey. Our journey. So, land monetization railways. The next news is with respect to that. But government has done this. Government has simplified, reduced the cost of different organizations to construct variety of facilities railway land under long term lease. देखिए इसको समझने के लिए फाउंडेशन तो आप समझ जाएंगे. You will understand the ideological foundation of this. Remember this, nothing happens without ideology. You have to have a base, ideological base on which you build your building, your ideas. So the ideological foundation is, कोई बता सकता है मुझे इस न्यूज़ की ideological foundation क्या होगी? Land monetization. Railway land is given to corporate. Yes, privatization. I'm looking for the term, ideological term. Liberalization, okay. Privatization, liberalization, globalization, okay. Yes, neoliberalism. Capitalism is vast, Nitin. Capitalism includes various forms of liberalism. We are always talk about special form neoliberalism because UPSC in a paper, GS paper, use this term precisely. Governance के क्वेश्चन में यूपीएससी ने क्लियरली पूछा था neoliberalism के बारे में. So that's why we are discussing this in detail. Again, this government is neoliberal in orientation. Basically a market fundamentalist. Again, देखिए इसमें बहुत चीजें हैं. इसमें good aspect भी है, bad भी है. ऐसा नहीं कि neoliberalism is a bad thing. It has good aspect as well as bad aspect. Good way you can say efficiency. No doubt private sector is efficient from the government sector. For most of the part, not always. For example, ISRO. ISRO is exception to this argument. ISRO is an exception to this argument. ISRO is a government body, still highly efficient and highly productive. So ISRO is a very good example if you give due space to a government organization. Because ISRO from top to bottom is manned by experts, not journalists like IAS officers. So for that you can blame them. So clear, ISRO is success for that. Anyway, please for governance, if you margin पे लिख लीजिए, do a case study of ISRO जरूर. Compulsorily do a study of ISRO, only the governance part. That what is why ISRO is a success model in spite of a government organization, how it is efficient and effective. So that whenever you're writing any answer on privatization, liberalization, whatever may be the case, you always have something to save the government bodies. Having done that, bad में आपको पता ही है, bad में सबसे बड़ी problem होती है inequality. Another thing good में आपका entrepreneurship or as we call startup. India is now known as the world startup capital. A good thing to understand. So the clear, neoliberalism has good points as well as bad points. Clear? This is a good point. This news of neoliberalism is in good aspect. Banks privatization, selling all the PSU is in bad, especially banks. Selling banks to private sector is a bad aspect of neoliberalism. Even RBI recently acknowledged that. Raghuram Rajan has said it. This is a good aspect of neoliberalism. How? Okay, what happens, for example, imagine this. Okay, you are a corporate. You want to construct anything. For example, you have to lay an office for that. A problem what happens in most of our corporate sector is land. Land disputes are very high. In India, the biggest problem is land titles are not clear. Because land titles are not clear, and that is why there is land disputes everywhere. Any project you initiate, it is guarantee, 100% guarantee there will be land dispute. So whether it is government and private. Government can use mechanism, but private sector find it hard to purchase land. So for that, what government has thought, railway has a lot of land laying idea. I believe if you have visited railway station, they are in a large area, and most of the railway stations area is laying useless. I'm not talking about Delhi's railway station, around the country. You people have seen railway stations of the India or not? So here you elite of the elite. Nobody interesting. Okay. So corporate sector wants offices, places to, for example, I want to lay a new plant, I want a land facility. Land is a basic necessity for any entrepreneurial operation. Most of the time, land is not available. So in that, what government has thought, the railway has a lot of land laying idle, useless. So what railway can do is railway put them on long-term lease. It's a good mini initiative. By this, they will get money. Railway will get a lot of money, which it can use to buy new trains, put new production facility, improve safety in railways. Oh, there are numerous measures. And at the same time, the corporate sector will get cheaper land. They will get land ready to use without dispute. सबको clear है तो it's a win-win model. Is it clear, everyone? ठीक है, तो ये न्यूज़ की मेनली. अब उसके अलावा I have listed government policy with respect to that. First is national monetization pipeline. In this we know national monetization pipeline, basically what government is doing, asset monetization through national monetization pipeline of potential brownfield infrastructure. देखिए brownfield means already worked. For example, a road already constructed, a bridge already constructed and working. These are called brownfield. Greenfield are new projects which are yet to be done. So government has decided all the brownfield projects which are basically working good, government will monetize them. See, this is the part of that. This is a monetization mechanism of railways land. Railways land will be monetized. The same thing goes here. National monetization pipeline. Government land, building, offices, whatever may be. Government will put them on rent to the corporate sector. The corporate sector will pay the rent, and this is known as a national monetization pipeline. Clear, everyone? Okay, guys, clear? Any confusion? Next is disinvestment policy. Please, I have listed few points. Beyond this, do not go in detail, but do read their pro and cons. National disinvestment policy. Government has decided that strategic disinvestment, matlab losing the control of the government, losing the control of the corporate sector. For example, आपका भारत पेट्रोलियम और आपके अदर कंपनी NTPC and all, the government will lose the control of those. The government will lose the control of those bodies. Strategic disinvestment. The government has decided the government will sell all the public sector undertaking except in 4 strategic sectors like defense, nuclear, and all. All the government companies will be privatized basically. And Niti Aayog has been given responsibility to work out a plan to do that. Also, Government of India will give money to the state government, money or additional support to privatize their public sector undertaking as well. Okay, this point is genuine. If there is a sick or loss-making public sector, then privatizing it, I would say, makes sense. Otherwise, it is not. It does not make sense completely. What is this? This is something in economics you will study. Adam Smith versus. There is no definite answer to this. Keynes. Is there anyone who does not know these people? Really, guys, anyone who does not know these people? Adam Smith, the founder of classical economics. Keynes, the founder of modern economics. सबको पता है? बोली तो, guys, am I audible? ठीक है, सबको पता है. That's a good thing. So that is a dispute here between Adam Smith and Keynes. Adam Smith believed in invisible hand, the private sector running with each other. Keynes believed in a hand of the government sector. So basically, it's a kind of hand of the government. Government is privatizing. Again, there are two views. One view is private, same. Private sector is this and that and this. But most of the scholars that we have studied, इससे नुकसान क्या होगा? Job losses initially. That's why even you are impacted. It is not like you people are not impacted. In 2013-14, there used to be 1,200, 1,300 vacancies. Around 1,000 vacancies were there ever in civil services, and that's why the cutoff was very low. In 2013-14, if you look, cutoff was very low. One was high vacancies. But since then, what has happened? Since Modi government has come to power, they are privatizing. There was a report that during Manmohan Singh times, privatization started by Congress in 1991. But during Manmohan Singh time, we also made public sectors. Means we privatized public sector, but at the same time, we also made new public sector units wherever required. But during Modi government, we have not made any public sector. We have sold the old one. So in that's why it is impacting you also. That's why the vacancy of civil services have come to 700 and 800. It's a significant decrease. The first issue is job loss, especially government job loss. Now they are debating on government job loss. That's a different argument. Clear everyone? First issue. Another issue that you can face in this investment is inequality. I have discussed this multiple times in all of my economic classes. What is the issue? Rapid privatization is bad. Privatization is not bad, but the rapid one is bad, and somebody has raised the hand. Who was that? Any question? Okay, it was accidental, I believe. Rapid privatization. देखिए issue क्या होता है? This we have witnessed in USSR, Union of Soviet Socialist Republic, USSR. When USSR disintegrated, at that point of time, they adopted something called a shock therapy. Shock therapy basically means they shifted from a government-controlled economy to a private sector-led economy. And the result of the shock therapy was oligarchy. What is oligarchy? Oligarchy is a system in which the society is controlled by few people. Oligarchy, control of the few. So because of this, a few families in Russia became super rich. And that is the problem we witness in case of rapid privatization. Example, if today government of India decides to privatize AIIMS New Delhi, I believe nobody of you can buy AIIMS New Delhi. But maybe 10 years down the line, some of you may have capacity to buy AIIMS Delhi. Some of you may have become entrepreneur. Some of you may have had some good idea which you have got very good startup. Could be anything. Example, this Byju's. Byju's bought Akash, an old institute. They bought, abhi nahi kar sakte, but future you can. That is what happens. Privatization is good, but slow privatization so that every generation could get some fruits of the development. Rapid privatization means few families who are rich today, the few families who are rich today will buy everything. Suppose clear the problem with rapid privatization? Oligarchy, a system where few families will become super rich. And that is a problem we are also witnessing. You know, I cannot name them, but you know what is happening. Reports are published every day. This is the issue of rapid privatization. So these are the issues that we witness in case of privatization. First, job losses. You also suffer that. Inequality, rapid inequality, and in case of banking, various scholars have highlighted, including economists like Rajan, issue of scams. The way scam happens in private banks, it is world renowned. I cannot teach every scam right now, but it is that. Suppose clear are the issues with respect to rapid privatization and the good things as well. Any question in anyone's mind you can ask. Yes, we know that, but the problem is problem क्या होती है? The problem that India currently witnesses is strongman image. Pressure group have a strongman present in the center. This is what Raghuram Rajan has emphasized in his article in his book. The problem that India witnesses that we have a strongman in power, and strongman has a particular problem. When they kill the people who kill means when they do away with the people who give them counter advices. If they are intolerant, the strongman intolerant, जो भी उनके खिलाफ बोलेगा वो out of the government. So in that scenario, what happens is you lose the ability to change yourself. You have seen empires around the world. Empires fall when they fall when the ruler, they have chatukars around him. Then the empire falls. Yes, strong opposition is the case, no doubt over that. The reason strong opposition, corporate pressure group, and a strong man with coterie of favorites. People who oppose are very few. And the biggest impact is social media. We had discussed in personal data protection bill how this media basically controlled by big corporations. The news media, I told you, Indian media, dekh lijiye. Almost entire Indian media is controlled by few corporate houses. Entire media. So obviously, the media is controlled by corporate houses. Then they will propel the argument of the corporate, not yours argument. Remember this, Indian media ने बहुत समय पहले जनता की बात करना छोड़ दिया था. A long time ago they left the people alone, but now they have become people. Most of the channels are anti people. Yes, Shakshi, you can say that. I cannot. It's a recorded session, and I love my freedom. अच्छा है, comment record नहीं होता. It's a good thing. सॉरी वाली बात देखिए, ये फियर बहुत बुरी चीज है ना. इफ यू वांट टू स्पीक योर माइंड और आपको डर लग रहा है तो बट इट शोज दैट द क्वालिटी ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी इज डिक्लाइनिंग. ये डर नहीं होना चाहिए. दिस इज नॉट हाउ डेमोक्रेसी वर्क्स. दैट्स व्हाई इन दैट केस यू कैन ऑलवेज प्रेज यूएसए. विद इन यूएस बॉर्डर द काइंड ऑफ लिबर्टी यूएस एंजॉय नोबडी एंजॉयज. रूपम the Rupam we said, there are a lot of things now. First, the ideology of this government is neoliberal. Neoliberal ideology, people believe private is everything. Okay. Second, because of weak opposition, they are unable to properly counter the government. Third, corporate control over media houses, because of which the media says what the corporate sector wants to say. The media feeds in the mind of the people that what the government is doing is right. चाहे उसके बाद वो hunger से suffer कर रहे हैं. You see, but that is the problem we are seeing. On the one hand, we are getting people who are becoming super rich, and on the other hand, we are getting we are declining in democracy index, your press freedom index. In nutrition, we are declining. India has become world poverty capital. You're getting, on one hand, we have become world poverty capital. On the other hand, Adani becomes the world's third most richest man. I'm not blaming this person particularly, but I'm saying this is a case of extreme inequality. सबको clear है? This is the debate that we are having. There are various dimensions to it. The biggest concern is this inequality. Always remember, inequality, whether real or apparent, inequality, whether real or apparent, always lead to revolutions. I hope we would do something about this inequality. It is rising at very fast pace in India. And the reason is rapid privatization. Do privatization, but not rapidly. So, we have discussed this. This point of privatization, or this point of giving government land for public private use, is very good. It is win-win. Win-win for the government, win for the corporate. Very good. But this investment policy and monetization is debatable. A lot of scholars argue it is dangerous for the society. I hope everyone is clear. अब मूव करते हैं आगे. Next news, domestic drudgery. Domestic drudgery. You need to know this term itself. What is domestic drudgery means? Menial, distasteful hard work. It is basically talking about the women of India. A sad news again. According to National Family Health Survey, it is the Government of India survey. According to 75% of women across India undertake time-consuming effort every day to ensure their families have water. A national shame, I would say. It is a national shame that you call yourself Vishu Shakti, Vishu Guru. You call yourself Vishu Guru, and the 75% of your women in every day they have to spend most of their time to have only clean drinking water. It's a shame, national shame, I must say. You got this. ये concept याद रखिएगा, the word domestic drudgery. Remember this concept. What is this? Menial, distasteful hard work, which has to be done. and it has direct impact on women's health. And if remember this, if a woman's health is impacted, then the entire family health is impacted, especially children. This is something you will study in social issues, women especially. A woman's health is directly linked to the family's health. A woman's education is directly linked to family's education. As it is said, na, if you teach a man, you teach a person. You teach a woman, you teach an entire generation. That is the thing. A healthy woman in a family means a healthy family. That is the thing. Is it clear? That is what we have listed everything here. इसके लिए गवर्नमेंट ने क्या करा? गवर्नमेंट हैज टेकन सम इनिशिएटिव, गुड इनिशिएटिव, प्रधानमंत्री उज्ज्वला योजना, वेरी गुड. By this, the government, what happened? A lot of women still spend most of their time in bringing cow dung and all, this firewood and all to cook food. So with this yojana, we tried to provide them LPG cylinder. A very good idea. But problem ये है कि 1000 रुपए का LPG cylinder कैसे कोई खरीदे? ठीक है? You will provide first LPG cylinder for free gas connection, but the problem is even this LPG cylinder are costly. If they buy from outside and if they take within this yojana, even then it is not very cheap. 500 को तो पड़ेगा फिर भी. For a BPL family, they are unable to afford this. Clear everyone? Clear issue? This dumb, remember this domestic drudgery. So issue, any question you have in mind, please ask. And it is directly related to children's health and the family's health as well. No question, chalo. Then we will move to the next news. This is also with respect to nutrition. Niti Aayog status report on Poshan Abhiyan. First, we need to know what is Poshan Abhiyan. Where is Poshan Abhiyan? Here, sorry. National Nutrition Mission or the Poshan Abhiyan. It has set the target to reduce stunting from 39% in an NFHS National Family Health Survey to 25%. Remember this point, very important. Among who? Children, women, and adolescent girl. Adolescent girl, I think teenagers they are talking about. So children, women, and adolescent girl. What are the component? ICT-based real-time monitoring and Anganwadi. This is the again most important concept. There are few issues that India always witness: hunger and poverty. Hunger and poverty are directly linked to lack of education, and all three factors can be addressed by Anganwadi. Hunger, poverty, linked to education can be addressed by Anganwadi. Basically, it is India's preschool. I've said multiple times in the classes that for health, you have ASHA workers. They are the core of India's health system. Without this, there is no health system. Similarly, for education and nutrition, you can say you have, especially for nutrition and poverty, you have your Anganwadi. I think everyone knows what is Anganwadi. Is there anyone who has no idea what is Anganwadi? Guys, am I audible? कोई है जिसको नहीं पता, सबको पता है आंगनवाड़ी? कोई. तो आंगनवाड़ी, the problem with आंगनवाड़ी directly impacts on our health and nutrition outcome. आंगनवाड़ी में problem क्या है? First of all, they are not sufficiently educated. Second, they do not have sufficient money. They are not paid at time. They are paid menially, and a lot of time the Anganwadi are existing on papers. We have to work on Anganwadi. If we can do only one thing in India's health and education and nutrition system, is a strong Anganwadi system and a respectful ASHA worker system. The ASHA workers, they are the core or the backbone of India's health system, but still they are not paid properly. They are menially paid, that too not on time, and they are always taken for granted. For example, corona vaccination, they were the frontline workers, the real frontline workers who went into the villages and vaccinated the people. Whenever there is health emergency, they are the frontline workers. So, clear what is the significance of ASHA and Anganwadis? They are the most important part, and that's why India does not achieve its target, because it really does not focus on the real issues. Focus on ASHA, make them the center, give them respectful salary, give them incentives, give them proper facilities. Same do with Asha. Then see the impact on India's nutrition, impact on India's health, impact on poverty, impact on women rights. Everything by doing only two things. आपको बड़े-बड़े Oxford के scholars नहीं चाहिए. You do not require Oxford scholars to bring some miracle in India. Focus on only Anganwadi and Asha. You can deal with a lot of evils in India. Clear है सबको? तो बाकी पॉइंट है आप पढ़ लेने, इसमें कुछ खास नहीं है. अंडर पोषण अभियान इट टॉक्स अबाउट रियल टाइम मॉनिटरिंग, इंसेंटिवाइजिंग स्टेट एंड यूटी टू मीट द टारगेट, setting up nutrition resource centers. Anganwadi type, they have a proper center where you can go and get nutritious food. Initiating Jan Andolan, this and that, whatever. But anyway, it is not working because recent report. Now come to the report. We understood what is Poshan Abhiyan. Basically aims to increase the nutrition in Indians. Now, under Poshan Abhiyan, there is a Niti Aayog status report on Poshan Abhiyan. This report has highlighted that less than half of the funds set aside for Poshan Abhiyan have been utilized by the Indian state. States and UT with poor distribution of mobile phones and growth monitoring devices emerge as a lower fund utilization. Basically, it is saying that there is least utilization of fund, less than half of the fund is used. अगर आप already the fund is very less, ठीक है, 100-200 करोड़ जो भी है, and उसका भी आप आधा इस्तेमाल कर रहे हो, basically you are doing nothing for Poshan. तो वो clear है? Everyone, is it clear? Up till here, any doubt? नहीं है? Okay. So next issue, what is the issue in Poshan में? Malnutrition is the biggest issue, and according to National Family Health Survey we discussed, the biggest issue is iron, vitamin A and iodine. Most of the children in India suffer from iron, vitamin A and iodine, which lead to a disease called neural tube defects. If you do not remember this, doesn't matter, but remember this point, that the biggest problem in India is iron, vitamin A and iodine. Recently, there are some studies which found by providing a simple egg in midday meal, the hunger and the malnutrition decreased in the state. Simple egg in midday meal, addition of an egg midday meal scheme में बदलाव लाया. The same along with egg, if you put iron tablets, vitamin tablets and iodine tablets, iodine तो नमक से मिल ही जाता है largely, vitamin A and iron, then basically you will go for comprehensive health development of our children. For this, what we can do, one is food fortification. अब how it works? For example, egg. अब मान लीजिए आप vegetarian है. Now you're a vegetarian, your religion does not permit you to eat egg. अब क्या करा जाए? So what government can do? Government can take soya. Soya is also protein rich. What government can do? Soya beans, basically where we have. In soya, government can artificially introduce eggs, amino acids. Again, this amino acid, iodine is important, but remember, understand this: the component that egg has, omega-3 and all these amino acids can be basically transplanted into a soya, so that a kid who is non-vegetarian, can eat soya and can still get the nutrition of an egg. This is called food fortification. Is it clear? It's a very good idea, food fortification. We should fortify food because changing eating habit is hard. अब मान लीजिए बच्चा बहुत पतला है तो क्या होता है, eat chicken. If that person is not, for example, does not eat non-veg, so in that what we can do is food fortification, and government does that. For example, आप सबने शायद देखा होगा iodine salt, देखा है जैसे टाटा नमक जो आता था. The Tata Namak is an example of food fortification. You eat salt, in that we have introduced iodine. There are various examples, fortified food, fortified rice we have. अच्छा example. मतलब what I am saying is, अगर आप करना चाहें तो दुनिया बदल सकते हैं, नहीं करना चाहे तो बहाने मारते रहो. If you want to change, then you can literally change the world. कितना मुश्किल है ये चीज करना, food fortification, and how hard is to provide an egg. And how hard the amount of money government spent on frivolous schemes for increasing nutrition and all. Give that money to Anganwadis and ensure a proper regulatory mechanism there. Add one simple act to the nutrition. Add some soya to the nutrition. These are not big steps. To change the world, you do not require to change the sun. You just require to clean the earth. मतलब छोटे action can yield big results. But the thing is, करेगा कौन? Nobody is interested. Everyone is in politics. Anyway, clear है सबको food fortification के issue. What we can do? What are the issues? What is the way forward? Etc. Etc. Very important. I'm again saying this for governance paper. Very, 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 very important. This malnutrition wala, please cover this in detail. Okay, UPSC has few very favorite topics. Your child health, women issues, your privacy issues. These are very few topics in which UPSC always has something to ask in interview or somewhere else. Clear है? इसको detail में cover कीजिएगा. Way forward में you can put MS Swaminathan. I put here in his paper he has given MS Swaminathan. Do anyone know who is MS Swaminathan? किस लिए famous है व्यक्ति? बताइए किसी को पता भी है MS Swaminathan का? सुना है? Yes, Sakshi Green Revolution. Yes. So MS Swaminathan has also no, नीति आयोग के लिए famous नहीं, Green Revolution के लिए famous है. He's famous for Green Revolution in India. So basically, this person has given 5-point program. So how you will use this? Whenever you're writing any answer, in that answer in way forward, especially of nutrition, women health, and children health. If you put way forward as this, that MS Swaminathan has given 5 points. These are the points. Calorie-rich diet for adolescent girls, mothers and children's. Protein uptake. Eradicating hidden hungers. That is iodine, vitamin we talked about. Clean drinking water and nutrition literacy. If you write as a way forward and then you say MS Swaminathan has given 5 points. These are the 5 points. Believe me, no checker, howsoever strict that may be, can prevent, can basically stop your marks. Suppose clear how you will use this content. Any doubt you have in the mind, please ask. Then we move to next news. ये बहुत important है. Please cover this in detail. I'm saying again and again. चलो, no question. Last is quad. अब quad का कुछ खास नहीं है. For that we need to understand the block politics that is happening. It is from IR. The block politics that is happening currently is you have on the one hand you have India along with USA. Largely you can say Japan and Australia. These are the 4 countries in quad. अब इसको समझने के थोड़ा सा let me delve into India international relation का history. देखिए basically what happened is there was a time in 1991. What happened is 1991 USSR disintegrated. With disintegration of USSR, USA became the prominent country or the world superpower. It continued till 1998. In 1998, India carried out nuclear explosion, also known as Operation Shakti. After this, in 2005, we signed a civil nuclear agreement with USA. This created the foundation of India's nuclear journey. Why it is important? कि इसमें क्या हुआ? 1989 में when we carried out this Operation Shakti and became a nuclear power, US imposed sanction on India and a lot of countries did. But India became a very important balancer against China. How? Since 1991 to 1998, in US strategic circles, in the scholars of USA, basically they started to emphasize that after Russia, China is the new threat. They emphasize that China is the world's next threat to US supremacy. So US has to start working today to counter China. And in that, India became a very important swing power. In that context, this happened. India became a swing power. Then come Obama. Please, अगर कुछ समझना है, please ask. I will repeat again. Obama initiated a policy known as Asia Pivot. कभी नाम सुना है किसी ने? Asia Pivot policy. ये बताइए यहाँ पर कंफ्यूजन है. Swing power means a potential partner. A swing means a potential partner here. India can be used to balance China. मतलब China will increase power, then USA will use India to counter China's rise. Clear the man? ठीक है. Then come Obama became the president. Obama initiated a policy. Mediator नहीं हम mediator नहीं, a balancer, a partner. For example, you have an animosity with somebody. You cannot directly fight with that person. What you will do is you will make somebody your friend and ask your friend to beat that person. That is what India became for USA. For example, Doklam. A lot of dispute that India has with China ना. Basically, USA is the instigator there. USA जैसे यूक्रेन एग्जांपल लीजिए. यूक्रेन में क्या हो रहा है? In Ukraine, actually, Ukraine war is between USA and Russia. It is not between Ukraine and Russia. But on face of it, what is happening? Ukraine is fighting with Russia. This is what happens to the swing state or the important balancer. यहाँ तक क्लियर है? प्लीज टेल मी. हाँ, प्रॉक्सी कह सकते हैं, जो भी कहना चाहते हैं, न्यू मिस्टर्स. ठीक है. So Obama launched Asia Pivot. Asia Pivot means Obama said, Obama administration, Barack Obama, before Donald Trump he was the president. Barack Obama said Asia Pivot that he will go for engagement with all the neighbors of China. Asia Pivot says, or pivot to Asia, also known as Asia Pivot or pivot to Asia. Under this policy, the administration said that they will engage with China's neighbor and will tell China's neighbor that China's rise is a threat to you. Please become my friend. That is what will happen. China, as a counter to Asia Pivot, launched BRI, that is Belt and Road Initiative. China, as a counter to US Asia Pivot, launched BRI. China under BRI said, Belt and Road Initiative, that I will link the world with the road and rail and the sea networks. Basically, China wanted to emphasize that my rise will be helpful for everyone. And USA started to counter this by the argument of debt trap, जो कि सही argument था. USA said BRI is nothing more than a debt trap, which proved to be right. India also believed in the argument of debt trap. As a counter to this BRI, there is Quad. Please tell me, सबको clear हुआ this historical linkage? Why Quad is there? This is the context. Priyanshi, BRI's Belt and Road Initiative. It's a Chinese program to link the world with China through road connectivity, rail connectivity, airways, waterways. It's a detailed project. IR में you will be taught into. Is it okay, Priyanshi? Quad basically is nothing more than a counter argument to BRI. That BRI के तहत China is trying to make friends, make client, not friends, client. Like Pakistan is China's client. So Pakistan is China's colony. For example, forget client. आपका क्या होता है? Sri Lanka, other countries they are also Myanmar they are also trying. तो वो clear है? 2005 sorry Shakshi. 2005 में basically what happens in 2005 USA and India signed an agreement for civil nuclear trade. देखिए what happened, I told you ना, 1998 में we carried out Operation Shakti, by which we became a nuclear power. It was a nuclear explosion. We became nuclear power. So after becoming nuclear power, US imposed sanctions on India and a lot of countries around the Western world, Japan and other countries, they imposed sanctions. Nobody was trading with India. So India started talks with USA. Ultimately, in 2005, we signed an agreement for civil nuclear. India has a nuclear energy program. I don't know economics में पढ़ाया गया आपको साक्षी? अगर नहीं पढ़ाया गया तो आगे अभी हुआ नहीं है ना, ठीक है, वहाँ पढ़ाया जाएगा. वो दैट्स द काउंटर पॉलिसी. सॉफ्ट लोन दिया था लेकिन सैंक्शन जापान बहुत क्रिटिकल था व्हेन वी कैरिड आउट दिस, क्योंकि जापान वाज द ओनली कंट्री हु फेस्ड न्यूक्लियर बॉम्ब. तो जापान वाज वेरी मच क्रिटिकल. फ्रांस हमारे साथ खड़ा. फ्रांस ने क्लियरली बोला आई डोंट केयर अबाउट यूएस। चलो वो तो डिटेल में जाएंगे तब देखेंगे। तो न्यूक्लियर एनर्जी प्रोग्राम है भारत सरकार का। भारत हैज अ न्यूक्लियर एनर्जी प्रोग्राम टू बिकम सेल्फ सफिशिएंट इन एनर्जी प्रोडक्शन, उसकी अपनी डायमेंशन है। तो फॉर दैट वी नीड दिस एग्रीमेंट। क्लियर है? बेसिकली दिस एग्रीमेंट बिकेम नियर टू यूएसए एंड दैट स्टार्ट दिस एग्रीमेंट इज आल्सो अ पार्ट ऑफ एशिया पिवट। बाद में ओबामा एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ने नाम दिया था, क्लियर नाम एशिया पिवट। सबको क्लियर है? एनी कंफ्यूजन प्लीज आस्क। तो ये सब बेसिकली है। क्वाड उसका एक काउंटर है बीआरआई का, बेल्ट एंड रोड एशिया पिवट यूएस का पॉलिसी, उसके काउंटर में चाइना स्टार्ट्स बीआरआई, उसके काउंटर में देयर इज क्वाड। This is how counter and counter action is going. Currently, we have two axes, a partnership we say. Russia along with Pakistan along with China. This is on one side versus India along with US along with Japan and Australia. This is on one side. This is the current orientation or the creation of axes in the world. So, clear? Please tell me any question. तो क्वेश्चन पूछ लीजिए और shall we end the class? This was the last news we had today. बाकी नोट्स में आप पढ़ लेना. This is what I have told. चलो चलते हैं. नंबर कहाँ जाना है? पार्टी करने. और हाँ गाइज, कल वो ऑनलाइन है. प्लीज ट्राई टू अटेंड दैट आल्सो. हाँ कर रहे हैं छुट्टी नितिन. There is a seminar on UPSC CST preparation. Please try to attend that also if possible. that's PDF ऑनलाइन पोर्टल पे नहीं मिलता आपको. ऑनलाइन पोर्टल पे अवेलेबल होता है. जहाँ पे करंट इवेंट बाय विकास गुप्ता था, कोर्स नेम इज दैट एंड इन दैट यू विल गेट दिस लिंक. वहाँ पे PDF मिलता है हर बार वीडियो के नीचे. नहीं मिले तो अपने मेंटर से पूछिए कहाँ पे, वो बता देंगे. एंड फॉर इन्फॉर्मेशन, कल एक सेशन है ऑन CSE सर इज कमिंग. प्लीज डू अटेंड दैट. ऑनलाइन भी होगा, ऑफलाइन भी होगा एंड ऑनलाइन यू कैन अटेंड. ठीक है? ओके, देन विद दैट नोट, लगता है सब लोगों को भागने की जल्दी है. एवरीवन इज इन अ हरी टू लीव द क्लास. यस समर, इट इज अवेलेबल ऑन YouTube एज वेल. इंस्टीट्यूट की वेबसाइट पे लिंक भी होगा. प्लीज गो देयर एंड वॉच इट. कल है. चलो, विद दैट नोट, Rupam has raised an accidental base. Bye guys, have a nice day everyone. Enjoy. Rupam is asking neoliberal. Okay Rupam. Neoliberal basically देखिए क्या होता है. In socialist में before 1991 we had socialist era where government was controlling everything. For example, on products you have seen MRP. MRP is a socialist time era where government used to give price कि भाई इससे ऊपर नहीं बेच सकते आप.